Hi, it's that fantasy chick back again with another stream. Today is going to be all about the Titans. Even the article I have is about the Titans because they had a special guest, and the article is about the special guest. Um, so, uh, so for the show, as for the show, um, at first I was I was a little bit like, okay, here we go. They have in the midst of all this action. Here's a filler episode about Gar or Garfield, going to uh, take a break from trying to save the world from utter destruction to destroy a lab where they are experimenting on animals. Okay, priorities. But but in the midst, so it just it felt kind of off. But in the midst of this, what was really happening was Gar was discovering a new power of his to move through time and space. And and what so he spent most of the episode talking with this guy. I've already forgotten the guy's name. The guy puts on his helmet, and he also can commune with animals. He can commune with animals, whereas Gar becomes animals. And I guess hmm, I guess I guess I'm gonna have to watch Doom Patrol because there was um, a lot of references back to Doom Patrol. And I'm like, okay, I remember the episode where we introduced Gar, and there was, the people from Doom Patrol, but I haven't watched a single episode of it since. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to sit down and watch all these episodes of Doom Patrol to understand what's going on. Is that what I'm gonna have to do? Um, because they happen to mention Lord, I've just lost my train of thought. About Doom Patrol. Okay, the man, I guess, who brought all of them together, the doctor or whatnot, who was doing experiments on Gar. He was the guy who was in control of the lab that that the the guy who was with Gar destroyed some time ago. But he sort of in his mind he took Gar on a trip through time and space and made it seem like they were destroying it in real time, like at that present time. But it was something that happened in the past. So I think once he realized he was moving through time and space, he started to do that on his own. And that's when it opened up and you began to see the DC multiverse. Kind of like what you saw on the CW when they had that huge crossover, and it was Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they started bringing in everybody from other shows and other movies and blah 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 blah. It wasn't as big, but they did bring people from other shows. You saw, of course, the Flash. You saw the season, you saw Stargirl. I think you saw Swamp Thing. You heard Dr. Fate and Jonathan Kent. And since you heard Jonathan Kent and Dr. Fate, I'm pretty sure it's Dr. Fate from Smallville, because Jonathan Kent's from Smallville. So we brought in Smallville to it. So I was happy about that. And then there was this guy and up. It was this strange bald guy, and I was like, okay, I don't know who he is, but when it opened up, he was like, "Hey, I see you," and I was like, he must be important, but I don't know who he is. Is he with Doom Patrol? Turns out he's Grant Morrison. He's Grant Morrison, and Grant Morrison, you know, comics creator for DC. And I knew, because I recognized the name. I heard the name when I saw the name in the credits. I was like, okay, I know that name. And then, so I figured it must have been the guy, in the. I figured it must have been the bald guy. So, and then found this article. Let's share the article. HBO Max Titans entered the DC multiverse, which included Grant Morrison. So, and there he is. The legendary comics creator made a guest appearance on this week's episode, along with many, many others. See, they said it the same thing. Call it the sequel to DC CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths, if you like. This week's episode of HBO Max series Titans, titled Dude, Where's My Gar?, which both delights and enrages me, took Gar Beast Boy Logan on a brief trip to the current DC multiverse, from live action to animation to real life, the last of which happens. Oh, yes! They even did Teen Titans Go, and they showed the Beast Boy from Teen Titans Go. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, it's the last of which happens to be the home of brilliant comics creator Grant Morrison. A little background. First, here's how Beast Boy got his glimpse of these various Earths. He's been connected to the Red, a multiversal force that connects all animal life together, exactly like the Green does for all plant life, seen in the short-lived Swamp Thing TV series, and not unlike to the Flash's Speed Force. As such, Gar is able to enter into its primordial nexus between universe and get glimpses of the other worlds out there. There he finds a delightful montage of various DC properties, most of which also were a part of the Crisis on Infinite Earths miniseries. The sequence kicked off with Arrow vs. Flash, but included glimpses of the aforementioned Swamp Thing TV series, the DCEU's Shazam, forgot about Shazam, Smallville's Dr. Fate, see, told you about him, the Animal Man Hero Freedom Beast, introduced earlier in Dude, Where's My Gar?, and the Beast Boy from Teen Titans Go cartoon. Gar also hears voices from other universes, including Pa Kent from the 1978 Superman movie, Harley Quinn from her self-titled animated series, and not one, but three Jokers: Jack Nicholson from Batman 89, Joaquin Phoenix from Joker, and Cesar Romero from the 1960 Batman TV series. Now, I heard the Joker. I didn't realize I was hearing three of them. There are only three universes that contain unique footage, the first being Gar's encounter with the CW Stargirl, played by Breck Bassinger. Naturally, it's fine, but the second is a fascinating and extremely satisfying appearance from Grant Morrison, who has penned about a million amazing comics and created the concept of the Red for the DC. What makes it infinitely better is that Morrison stares at Beast Boy through the portal and says, "I can see you." This is a reference to Morrison's run on Animal Man, one of the earliest DC series, and a metatextual reference to a famed metatextual scene where the real life Morrison also spied on a fictional creation and said the same line. As the cherry on top, the sketchbook they're holding contains a rough drawing of the DC multiverse they designed for the Multiversity comic event series in 2014. The final cameo is the most confounding as Beast Boy tells the Red to return him to his family, meaning his found family, the Titans. It instead spits him out in Doom Manor, where he's discovered by Doom Patrol TV series Cyborg. This could mean two things because canonically, Titans and Doom Patrol take place in different universes, something also confirmed by the Crisis miniseries. This is despite the fact that the Doom Patrol first premiered in a season one episode of Titans, played by the same actress who later portrayed them in the TV series. This was explained away by saying these two universes just have remarkably similar teams. But Cyborg has never appeared on Titans, only Doom Patrol. So does this Titans universe also have a doppelganger of Wade's Vic Stone? Maybe because this Vic recognizes Beast Boy, but the Doom Patrol universe could have a remarkably similar Beast Boy as well, which would explain why this cyborg is back in or still in his armor. This mystery is made infinitely messier in that this week's Titans episode also revealed that Niles Calder, creator of the Doom Patrol in both realities, had been responsible for killing Garth's parents in his quest for immortality. And let's not forget, in the Titans reality at least, Beast Boy was a member of Doom Patrol for a time. Do the showmakers have a plan that involves both universes? Is this all taking place in the Titans verse? Or are they just playing fast and loose with continuity because it's both series' final seasons and they want to have fun? I would like to posit this scenario. Who cares? Maybe it's just a bit of fun. Besides, the entirety of the current live action DC multiverse is so close to being done. Titans only has 3 more episodes to go, and Doom Patrol is on its last legs. The Arrowverse officially ends with when The Flash does, which also only has 3 more episodes to go. And we all know the DCEU has been flushed down the toilet. It simply doesn't matter what happens to the canon of the current multiverse because it's dying as surely as if there's been another crisis. And when it's reborn, it'll be overseen by James Gunn. Okay. So that's where we left off at the end of this episode with him appearing in the Doom Manor with Cyborg. So they're really going to make me go watch Doom Patrol. Dang, I'm going to have to go watch Doom Patrol. Because I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on. So yeah. Now, am I going to be able to watch all of Doom Patrol before Doom Patrol comes back? I don't know. We don't know these things. But this I do know. I definitely won't be able to watch all of it before next week. That's not happening. That's definitely not happening. But uh, yeah, so was very excited to see the multiverse and see that they used Shazam and all of that. That so in the episode that had me, I was okay. I admit I was bored in this episode until Gar started using his powers. When Gar started using his powers, that's when things began to pick up. And then when you started seeing, the Flash running around him, and I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? Is that looks like? And then all of a sudden it was the Flash, and then you started seeing, and he actually talked to Stargirl. So, and then you began to see all these things opening up and see all these different universes. That's when the episode really sort of got interesting to me. But so we only saw Dr. Fate from Smallville, but that's okay. They went to Smallville. That's good enough for me. But I knew it had to be Dr. Fate from Smallville because I don't know any other live action show recently that had a Dr. Fate. Recently, that wasn't animation. So, well, I mean, I guess they had a live action Dr. Fate in that Black Adam movie, and if we're using Shazam, they could use the Black Adam movie, but they didn't. So. So, but yeah, so that's all I'm talking about today is the Titans, is the episode, because I already talked about the Mandalorian, and there was no episode of The Flash last week. So we're just talking about the Titans today. So we'll be back Wednesday. I will see Wednesday if there will be an episode of The Flash on Wednesday. And of course there will be a video on Friday, unless I don't know. There should be a video on Friday, and I should be back on Wednesday. So, unless there's an emergency, but if there are no emergencies, I shall be back, and there will be a video on Friday. So, but if there are emergencies, I will let you know on my community page. That's where I will post on the community page. But in the meanwhile, thanks for watching.